Tonight we travel to the southern edge of the world, far beyond the familiar, into a land where the mountains cut the sky, where the wind carries secrets older than memory. Chile, a country of deserts, forests, and coastal silence, and a place where some stories never make it to daylight. You're about to hear one of those stories. Stay with me, because in just a moment a family will encounter something no logic can explain. The Gutiérrez family lived in a small rural town surrounded by pines and farmland. Quiet days, slow evenings, lives paced by sunrise and roosters, not clocks. Nothing extraordinary. Until one night. A night that still keeps their youngest daughter awake. A night she wishes she could forget, but never will. Imagine a simple home. Wooden walls, tin roof, creaks familiar like breathing. A radio humming softly on the table. You can almost see the dinner still warm in the kitchen, hear footsteps across old floorboards. And just beyond the windows, darkness like ink. It began with a sound. Not a loud one, just enough to make someone turn. A tap, then another. Light, rhythmic, almost careful, as if something wanted attention, but not yet permission to enter. Mrs. Gutiérrez paused from cleaning dishes. She heard it clearly. Tap, tap, tap. She thought it was tree branches, or a stray dog, but something in her stomach said, "Look, just look." And when she turned toward the window, her breath left her like she'd swallowed ice. Two eyes stared back. Not human, not animal, she recognized. Wide, unblinking, reflecting the dim kitchen light like polished stone. She dropped a plate. Shattered. Her husband rushed in, asked what happened. She pointed at the window, but the eyes were gone. He laughed it off. A tired mind. A trick of shadow and glass. But she wasn't laughing. She could still feel the stare in her bones. She said they weren't eyes of something curious, but eyes of something waiting. Hours later, the children slept. Father by the fireplace, boots off, newspaper limp in hand. Mother finally exhaled, telling herself she imagined it. The wind moved the house like an empty cradle. The night was thick, heavy, still. Then came the second sign. The radio turned on by itself. Static first soft, then louder until it filled the entire house. A cold mechanical scream. The kind that hurts your teeth to hear. Father jumped up, slapped the power switch, pulled the plug. But the static kept going. No electricity. No wires connected. Just sound. Sound that felt like it crawled through the walls. It stopped as suddenly as it began. The silence that followed was worse than any noise. Like the house itself was holding its breath. The youngest child, Isabella, woke crying. She said something was outside her window, scratching, dragging, whispering her name. Her father tried to assure her nothing was there, but when he walked to her room and looked at the window frame, the wood was marked. 4 long claw-like streaks, as if something had been testing the barrier between inside and out. He locked every door, checked every latch, every window. He told the family to sleep together in the living room. Safety in proximity, warmth beneath blankets. No one spoke, but everyone was listening. Listening for the next sign. It came at 3:17 a.m. The front door handle moved. Not subtle, not gentle. Turned firmly. Then rattled. then pulled as if someone knows something, and something was trying to come inside. And here's the part witnesses still argue about. The moment people call impossible, yet the family swears it happened. The door didn't shake like a burglar's attempt. It didn't pound with fists or boots. Instead, it creaked open, slow, deliberate, like the house was inviting whatever was outside to enter. The father grabbed his hunting rifle. He approached the doorway, breath sharp, heart thundering. He aimed into the black outside. No footsteps, no shape. Only cold air that smelled of earth and iron. Then he saw it. Something stood just beyond the threshold. Tall, too tall to be human. Skin pale as river stone. Limbs long, unnaturally bent, like it didn't grow. It assembled. Its head tilted sideways in a slow, curious movement, like it was studying him, the same way we stare at animals in a cage. The only feature that stood out were the eyes, the same eyes from the window, reflective, unblinking, hungry. He tried to speak, but no sound left his throat. He tried to fire his rifle, but his hands wouldn't obey. Fear rooted him deeper than bone, deeper than instinct. He could only watch. The creature stepped back into the dark, as if melting into the night itself. Gone. No sound. No trace. But the encounter wasn't over. Minutes or maybe hours passed. Time lost meaning. The wind grew stronger, howling like voices in argument. The house groaned beneath invisible weight. The radio crackled again, but this time it wasn't static. It was a voice, faint, distorted, speaking Spanish, but in a tone no human throat could make. No Estin solos. You are not alone. The children sobbed. Mother shielded them, whispering prayers through shaking breath. Father stood guard at the door, knuckles white against the wooden stock of his rifle. Outside, footsteps, circling the house, slow, deliberate, one step at a time, then scratching along the wall, trailing from one end of the house to the other, as if mapping it, studying it, learning it. There was no dawn for them that night, only the gradual easing of terror. The footsteps stopped. The radio fell silent. The wind died to a whisper. And when morning finally arrived, the world outside looked normal again. But the marks remained. Claw marks along the windows, dirt prints near the door, and on the back wall, a symbol carved into the wood. A circle intersected with 3 jagged lines. Local elders recognized it. They said it was ancient, something tied to stories older than memory. A mark left only when something claims territory. Not land, not forest. A family. For weeks after, the Gutiérrez family heard noises at night. Windows tapping, radio whispering, footsteps pacing the roof, never entering again, but never leaving completely. Some say it was a spirit of the land. Others say something crossed from a place not meant for living things. Something curious, something patient, something that does not forget. Even now, decades later, Isabella still sleeps with lights on. She still hears whispers on windy nights. Sometimes she dreams of those reflective, unblinking eyes. And sometimes she swears the whisper returns. No estés sola. You are not alone. But before you comfort yourself, before you say this happened only to them, ask yourself one question. If something like that watches families, chooses homes, marks its claim. How do you know it hasn't already chosen yours?